Dad always said that land was precious because they don't make it anymore. And so hopefully this will be an ongoing part of wisdom that he would have wanted imparted.
It's such a cool place. It's like a refuge for, yes, for animals, but for us too, as a family. And so I think it's so cool that as time has gone, it has evolved to the current status of what our culture, our people, our livelihoods need. It started as a prairie, it went to farmland, and now the two are mixing, which I think is awesome for the future. I think that's really cool. So go Grandpa and Grandma.
I'm Karen Trook Birdsall, and my parents are Al and Elva. And Mom and Dad moved us here in 1965. They had homesteaded in rural Wyoming at the end of World War II. And the government reclaimed those 88 farms and said, you need to have a change of life. You're not going to be a farmer in Wyoming anymore. Dad had worked for farmers just down the road from here when he was a young man, and he remembered how beautiful and lush and green Cass County was in the Dust Bowl era of central Nebraska. So when Providence brought him at the age of 50 to change where he was working and how he was living and raising his family, he remembered fondly Cass County. Dad was very forward-thinking. He was smart and wise and hardworking, but he was also forward-thinking. And so he did not take the route of lots of herbicides, lots of chemical means to restore it to production. He did it the hard way, the time-taking way of rebuilding the soil, correcting patterns of erosion, and yes, we pulled a lot of weeds.
I'm Jen Birdsall, and my grandparents, my maternal grandparents, moved to the farm in the 60s, and it's been in the family then. So I have known Trook Family Farms for my whole life. Lots of fun memories. We would come every Saturday morning and usually meet at Village Inn and ride with Grandpa and Grandma out to the farm, and then meet in Eagle for dinner or ice cream if it was an early evening before heading back to Lincoln. And some of my most cherished memories are those Saturdays out here at the farm, spending time with Grandpa and Grandma, but also being from the city, getting to see what farm life was like, even though it was only a day a week.
I'm Cass Birdsall, and my grandparents own the Trook Family Farm. I live in Lincoln, but we come up here as often as we can to spend time on the farm and with my grandma, and when my grandpa was alive, we spent a lot of time with him too.
It means a lot to me as stewards of the land. We have a very good renter, but I am stressing to him my desire to keep the land productive and to keep it from eroding. I would rather keep the land going than to just let it all wash away. So that the land will always be able to support a family if it's taken care of.
So seeing the prairie come back and learning more about it and understanding what it means for the land and what it means for my grandpa's legacy it's really important. It's everything that he had talked about as a young farmer when crop rotation and making sure that the land prospers for many years. You know, it wasn't always something that people thought about, but it was always something that he knew was important.
I mean, the change is hard for all people, and when they see someone else do something like that, of course they will be inspired. Now, there'll be people who disagree at first, of course, but you know, when you have the backing of the farmer who is farming the land and can then see the benefits, I mean, that's the greatest way you make change, is when you see it happen, and then those people speak about its benefits. That's how, you know, the ripple effect becomes. So I think, yeah, it'll totally, it may take time, but I do think it will ripple.
It may well not just be something that is of the land and ancient and historic and an honor. It may actually be a model to help other farmers go forward in blending and getting the best of both worlds. It's already evolving. When we first began, you know, Dad was 97 and a half. That's a long, healthy life in relationship to the land. So if we were going to do something in his honor and in his memory, it should be connected to the land. And we would want it to be at least 100 years forward good. With the current appraised value of farmland, especially in this county, having skyrocketed beyond the land's ability to produce and be profitable for family farmers, you have to be very respectful of every inch and how it can help a farmer be able to feed his family and feed the world and stay in business. But yet, it is all a delicate balance. And so in wanting to be fair to the farmer who farms, and yet this original idea of wanting to do something eternal to honor Dad's having been on this land, we were very careful in thinking how it would affect him. It has been interesting to see all of the changes that have come here on this land and going forward. And I hope 47 years from now that our choice to restore some prairie will prove to have been not just an honor or a sympathetic choice, or a trip down memory lane for us, but something wise for the land and wise for the area. And so we wondered what he would have thought about asking Ron to give up 10 acres of productivity when land prices and taxes are so high. But then again, maybe that's my I'm still alive on earth short-sightedness. Maybe he was the one planting those seeds in us because he had more of a vision on eternity. So I think now he would enjoy the wildlife that's back down there and would be grateful that we're taking steps to stop erosion.
Well, as our cities grow, and we have less people out in the farmland, it doesn't change the importance of what the agriculture is doing, not only for Nebraska, but for our country. So I think the future is this land, and for all of America and people all over. The past leads to the future, and I think that by Grandma and Grandpa being able to do that, it's a gift for generations to come.
Farmers realize, most farmers, I'll put it that way, realize that if you take care of the land's going to take care of you. But it can't if it's abused. he would like to see the land cared for and taken care of, because he did.